G'day, my name's Brett Kingman and this is the Marshall Origin 20C, the 20 watt combo called the Origin, which is basically a little tiny recreation or a homage to their Plexi amps of old. I guess that's the old JTMs and maybe the JMPs. Plexi faceplate, one channel, 3 tone controls, a tilt control here which is really cool because it basically gives you a virtual dial-up of somewhere between the normal input on a Plexi and the bright input, so you can blend between. A lot of people used to jump those inputs on the old school amps, and this lets you do both. You've got a master control here and a gain control. It's not a high gain amp, it's like, you know, it's an old school amp, so there's a bit of grind, maybe in the sort of vein of AC/DC, that kind of grind, which we'll have a crack at in a moment. And you've got a 3-stage power stem over here, high, medium and low. Power stem is their new attenuation technology, and basically it halves and quarters the output of the amp, which by the way is powered by 3 ECC 83 tubes and a couple of EL34s. This is the 20 watt version. There's a 10 watt speaker in there, a Celestion 10 watt 30 watt V speaker. The amp is made in Vietnam, but that means nothing to me because it's great quality. It could be made in, you know, Fifth Avenue, New York. It sounds great. It's built really well. And here we go. Let's have a listen to it. So this is obviously a T-style guitar, and it's built by John Paler. It's got some classic Telecaster pickups by Brian Porter in it. I'm going to wind the gain down to about 3 o'clock here, and we'll keep the master at noon. I'll keep it on high output. Right, so you want to wind some gain in, it likes the gain. Now this tilt control will go from that normal setting that I talked about through to the bright setting, which is really bright, and somewhere in between. Now if, like me, you're using a classic fuzz in front of the amp, I've got a Mark 1 here built by my mate Short Klinger. Whoops, I've just mucked up the bias control, but if I turn it on, the tilt control is going to come in handy. Because it'll shave some of that top end out that those old fuzzes are known for. This is not about the fuzz though, this is about the amp, so we'll continue with the amp. I'm going to back the gain back to noon and crank the master up because the power amp overdrive is, you know, what these kinds of amps are really all about. So you start to get that grind. Now if I wind the bass back in, and then if I hit the boost, and you can engage the boost either by pulling out the knob or by using the supplied foot switch, which I'm going to do. So here's the gain in as normal, and here it is with the boost. So with the boost, you don't just get a little bit more preamp saturation, you also get a bit more bottom end as well, especially if the master is cranked. So let's crank that gain to about 3 o'clock, keep the master at about 3 o'clock as well. Boost out, boost in. That's going to make a big difference if I've got a guitar along the lines of, along the lines of something like this Music Man, which has got humbuckers in it and a bit more grind. So I'm going to go back again and just play it normally with the gain at about 2 o'clock, master at half. Boost on. a really nice thick plexi grind. Bump this master up, bump the gain up as well. Boost off on the foot switch. Now these amps can get pretty flubby if the bass is up, so I'm going to back it down when everything is, you know, running hot like this. Engage the boost. That is absolutely rocking, and if I put in a bit more presence and back the bass off even more, let's crank it. Hey, let's go for it. It is goddamn loud in here too. This is 20 watts through a 10-inch speaker, and I kid you not, the neighbours are going to be complaining any minute. Now, like the great Plexi amps, you can ride the volume control on your guitar to get the clean tone. And then back it. Oh man, that is so good. By the way, we're marking it with a 57. Now there is an effects loop as well, so I'm going to plug in an Empress delay and turn it on just so you can hear how clear it is. And you can turn it on and off with the foot switch. Oh, one thing I didn't look at, the attenuation. So if I go down to low, you still get the grind, but at a much more sensible volume. And then high, which is where I like it. So the Origin 20, it comes in a 50 as well, and it also comes in a head. It looks great. It certainly feels great to play. It sounds amazing. It's mid-priced. What more could you want? Not much for me. It's ace. See you soon.